Hello and welcome. I'm Steve, and today we're going to look at week 3 of my keto diet journey. Let's go take a look. Well, it's time to look at week 3 of my keto journey, and it's been really good the last 3 weeks. So let's take a look. So I like to show this slide to show how I've felt about my progress over the last 3 weeks. I have categories across the top that are not necessarily numbers, they're just the way I feel about how things have gone. And if you look at the weight loss column, the first week, week 0, when I was doing the transition, not so good. That was kind of across the board, all the categories. I just didn't feel like this was for me, maybe. I wasn't sure. So as I progressed into week 1 and then week 2, things got a little better in a lot of the categories. So for week 3, the only category that I just don't feel like I'm making progress in is my sleep. And that could be due to a lot of things. I've always had trouble sleeping, but I don't think it's necessarily an issue with the keto diet. But overall, it's been a great third week. Everything's going down. My weight, my fat, my energy level and my mood are going up. I don't have hunger cravings. I feel fantastic. Lots of energy, lots of mental awareness at work. Just a very, very good place to be in for me. So looking at my numbers for week 3, the top line is my weight, and that is one of the key factors on this chart. I have 4. Weight is number 1. So if you look at week 3, the trend is down. Nice and slow, that's the way I want it. And looking at my carb intake, that's gone way down. So I was in the 150, 140 grams of carbs per day, and now I'm down to 10 or less per day, which is fantastic. It doesn't bother me. I don't have any issues, no cravings, none of that. It's been just fantastic. My blood glucose level has come down from being an average in the 200s down to where it's really close to 100, and that's the target line. The dotted line is 100, and I'm so close, just up and down, and that is actually just incredible for a type 1 diabetic. And then along with the carbs going down, my insulin level is going down as well. So when I first started, I was in the 75 units per day of carbohydrates, and now I'm in the neighborhood of 20 or less, and I'm still adjusting that amount, but to be down more than a third from 75 to 20 units per day is just really outstanding. So the core numbers here for week 3 and the data that I'm looking at that I really want to track closely, all of those numbers are trending in the right direction. So it's just really, really fantastic. So looking at week 3 detailed numbers, across the top, as I've explained before in other videos, those are the summary for the entire week. So I have an app that I use that I'll put up in the description, and it really shows what I've eaten, what my blood sugar is, how much I've exercised, and what I've had to eat also. Those details are in the bottom. You can't really read them, but I can read them. And so my insulin level, basal, which is the background, averaged 17 units a day for the week. My blood glucose average in the green up here, 101. That's almost perfect. Just unbelievable in 3 weeks to be able to achieve that. As a diabetic, really, really is encouraging. My swings up and down, the deviation was only 21. That's incredible. My activity level, 5 hours and 15 minutes for the week. So that's a very good number. That's helping me along in my keto journey, and I hope to continue increasing the amount of exercise and activity that I do during the week. And the other big number down towards the end is the number of hypos. That's hypoglycemic. That's the number of times I'm over my target high limit of 140. That only happened once this week. And my low target of 60, I didn't even go below that for the week. So again, it's just fantastic. And then you look across each week, you see all the green. That is my average blood sugar for the day for each of those days. So it's just, there's green everywhere. I have one red down here. Not a big issue. It's incredible. And for the rest of the week, just 2 or 3 that are slightly high or slightly low, but all the green is what my doctor's going to look for, and he's really, really going to appreciate that. So just a fantastic week all around. So let's talk about my week 3 accomplishments. I started intermittent fasting this week. I'm doing an 18-6, so that's 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of eating. So that doesn't mean I eat for 6 hours straight, but it's a 6-hour window that is when I consume my 2 meals for the day. I'm skipping breakfast and just eating lunch and dinner. And it's very, very easy to do. It's not tough. Get up, take a shower, go to work, have lunch, come home, have dinner, go to bed, get up and do it again. So I'm really happy with that. I'll try that out for a while and see how that goes, and maybe go up to 1 meal a day. We'll see how it goes. As I stated in last episode or 2 episodes ago, I started apple cider vinegar. I'm doing that 2 times per day, and it's not as bad as you would think. I sampled a lot of recipes, looked up a lot, made my own recipe that is really actually pretty good. It's surprisingly good. I do it twice a day. I don't do shots. I just have a little recipe that I mix up, and I take my vitamins with it in the morning and in the evening. So I'll share that in a video probably later this week, what my recipe is and how I enjoy it actually. Also, I continue to lower my carb intake, as I mentioned earlier. I'm down to 10 grams per day or less. There's days where I only intake maybe 6 grams or 8 grams of carbs. But my average is, and my target is, 10 grams or less of carbs per day. My weight and fat loss are still trending down, and I showed that in the previous slide. That's a fantastic thing, and I'm not looking to lose 20 pounds in a month. I'm not looking to lose my stomach in a week or 2. It's a long-term effort for me. And so progressing every week is just fantastic, and that's what I'm looking to do. Continuing to look for keto recipes. If anyone has a great one they want to suggest, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. I'm always looking for fantastic recipes that have the right macros, that they're tasty, and they're easy to make. Those are my 3 criteria. So anything you have along those lines, I'm open to suggestions on that. So for exercise, I averaged 45 minutes per day this week, and my goal is to get up to an hour or so per day. So that's fantastic. So I started at 15 minutes per day, and I'm up to 45. So that's also a good thing that's increasing. And then, as I mentioned earlier, my insulin requirements continue to drop. I started at 75 units per day a little over 3 weeks ago. I'm down to 20 units per day. So I just track that very closely. I watch my carb intake and my exercise. Both of those factors influence how much insulin I need to take per day. So I watch that very closely as a diabetic. So let's talk about my goals for next week. So I want to maintain my 10 grams of carbs per day. I want to exercise more. I want to get up to at least 1 hour a day of exercise, whether it's walking, stairs, jogging sometimes, lifting things, moving things, some kind of activity that I'm exerting myself just a little and just get my heart pumping just a little bit. As I mentioned, I'd like to find some more recipes that meet my macros for keto. And I want to maybe try 24-hour or 36-hour fast. I might do that in the next week or 2. And I'll be sure to document that and let you know how that goes. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking at a lot of the benefits, especially of a 1 meal a day, where you just have 1 meal over 24 hours. And that sounds like a pretty good way to start. It's tough as a diabetic to go more than 24 hours because your insulin lasts for 24 hours. So if you don't eat for that amount of time and you eat your insulin wrong, then you have to eat because now your blood sugar is going low. So it's a tough thing to manage, but I want to try it out and see how it works. So that's the update for this week. I'm really happy at the results. I'm very happy to share them with you and to help anyone out there that's looking at starting keto. There may be a type 1 or type 2 diabetic and is interested in keto. I'm living proof that it's working for me so far, and I really want to just continue to share my journey with you, and let's see where it takes us. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Take care.